Good morning to everyone. So before we continue along with our meditation for today, it is important that we sometimes, in certain circumstances, give ourselves the support that we require to continue and to produce the energy that we require to continue along this path of practice. Meditation is not something which is easy. It is something that you really do have to put in the effort to develop. It is something that you need to work with yourself in order to understand its benefits for yourself, in order that we are able to then accept and without fear go along this path and to see or to have the patience to see the results of that energy and efforts that you put into your meditation. Meditation has always been used by people who saw some sort of something which was not quite right with the mundane world. In history, meditation was always used by people who had a different outlook to the outlook that was shared by people who were happy with the flow of life of the mundane world. Here, what we do within this time of practice is to work with that view, not in a way of sort of applying our own views into the world, but rather being able to now direct our energy into seeing what the reality of the world might be through the eyes that are a little bit more aware, a little bit more awake. So during this time of practice, there has been no one who was able to meditate without difficulty. Everyone has experienced pain. Everyone has experienced challenges. Everyone has sort of come into potholes where you think, okay, my gosh, I can't keep on meditating. But remember that those experiences of difficulty are those primary supporting factors for us to keep on going. So during the meditation, whatever it is that you experience, remember to have an equanimous mind, to not be sort of bothered and burdened by the different sort of emotions that would arise with these objects, but to continue meditating, keeping your primary focus upon the primary base of meditation, in order that it would then give you the energy, the ability to be aware while these different sort of emotions come up. That is something that we do even in our daily lives, isn't it? There are many things that arise in our life that hinders our growth, that hinders our happiness, that hinders one's health. So what do? We become aware of these hindrances, that we might call them, and then we try to not give heed to those hindrances, but to focus on what is right for ourselves. And in the meditation, this is the same. This is the same. So let us now get down to our meditation practice. Taking a deep breath in, breathing out, relaxing yourself, relaxing yourself. As you take another deep breath in, breathing in, and breathing out, relaxing yourself a little bit more, relaxing the body, the mind. Each and every fiber of skin and muscle, just relaxing, letting go for this moment, being comfortable with the breath, that you no longer need anything else, putting aside, putting aside. any responsibilities and duties that you might have. And just allowing yourself to settle in this moment, here and now. Your senses, the mind, the body calming down. With every breath, even the breath calming down. The beat of your heart, the whole body and mind being completely settled, unhindered. As you guide your attention to the posture of the body, being aware of the posture, knowing where your hands are, your legs, your feet, the shoulder, not being too rigid, but finding a comfortable posture that you do not have to try too hard, yet try too little as well. Being aware, being aware. As you now gently guide your attention from the body to the breath at the tip of the nostrils. At the tip of the nostrils. Be aware. Be aware. Be aware. Observing the in-breath and the out-breath. Not following the breath, but just observe. Just observe. At the tip of the nostril. However the breath might be, accepting without any judgment or bias, without wishing it to be any different from what it is or how it might be. Gracefully accepting as you gently, gently allow yourself to observe this motion of the breath as it arises, possesses and passes away, but only at the tip of the nostrils. Or you could even observe and watch the expansion and contraction of the abdomen, observing wherever you might find it comfortable to do so. Observe, 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 observe.
Observe. There can be different thoughts, sounds, vibrations in the background or in the mind. But do not give heed to anything other than the breath. Just like in the world, there are many things going on in the world. That which is conducive to your stability and happiness, and those which are not conducive to your stability and happiness. Let us at this moment focus on the breath. Focus entirely on its arising and passing away, but without any attachment, whatsoever. Make sure the facial muscles are relaxed. Relax. Observing the breath. The more that you are able to observe the clear breath, the calmer and blissful the mind and body becomes. Let go of wanting to even see the breath. It is as if you're seated on a park bench, just gazing into the scenery in front of you. You are not demanding beauty. You are not demanding anything. Your eyes are just open and you see. Just so. Open your eyes of awareness and see, observe what the breath is doing. It's arising and passing away. It's arising and passing away. If the mind does stubbornly wander, take a deep breath in, and as you take a deep breath in, guide your attention to the tip of the nostrils again, stapling the mind at the tip of the nostrils as you breathe out, relaxing, letting go of whatever, and just focusing upon this present moment, here and now, here and now. Here and now. relax, relax, relax. Completely at peace, free of all the responsibilities and duties, as you settle in this present moment, here and now, here and now, aware, aware. Do not be so bothered whether you're doing the meditation right or not, about how effective you might be today. It doesn't matter. Just observe, observe, observe. Do not be too harsh on yourself. Observe the breath and allow your mind to calmly settle in this present moment of awareness, noting each and every motion of the breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. Be aware, be aware. Observe, observe. Gently, as you focus on the breath, the arising and passing away of each and every moment, each and every moment, letting go, shedding anything that you're attached to, even pain, comfort. Absolutely imagine just being free from all of those thoughts, observing this arising and passing away, arising and passing away. Let go. Let go. Just focus on the arising and passing away of this present moment, the breath, the breathing in, breathing out. Observe. Being aware of your posture, being aware of your posture as you continue, continue, continue. Gently, gently. Relax. Do not try too hard. Find the right balance, the right balance, the right balance. gently. Taking a deep breath in very gently, slowly. Breathing in, holding on to the breath for a moment. Being aware of all the sensations that arise as you let go. Very slowly as you relax deeper and deeper, letting go. As you gently take another deep breath in, breathing out, relaxing deeper and deeper, letting go of the five senses, yet being awake and aware, attentive of whatever sounds, smells, tastes, sensations all across the body. As you gently deep breath in, hold on to the breath. And when you can't hold on to it any longer, gently, very slowly, letting go of the breath. Letting go of the breath. And when you are ready, awakening into the present moment. Opening your eyes when you are ready. When you are ready. Good. Let's take a break of about 5 minutes and come back. All right. Before we move on to the next part of our meditation, please remember, do not try too hard, right? I mean, it's not like we are racing for something. And we can easily see, I can easily see, because I mean some of your cameras are on, some of you are trying way too hard. Don't try too hard. Just relax and observe, right? Because when you do sort of, your bodily movements and all of that, the slouching and all of that comes in, there is no purpose to try too hard. Enjoy the practice, be in the moment. Do not make this into another rat race that we have all made our lives into, right? Let this be a time of quieting down and just doing nothing and observing. And if there are any disturbances to that, meaning the mind prompting you to do something, recognize the arising and passing away of that. Recognize the impermanence of that thought. Recognize the unnecessary nature of that thought itself. There is no purpose for us to push ourselves in a way, because you're not going to achieve anything. You're just going to have frustrations with your mind because you are not able to see things or achieve in meditation what you might want to achieve. So just relax and observe as things arise and pass away. So let's get down to our meditation again, taking a deep breath in, comfortable posture, comfortable posture. Deep breath in, holding on to the breath, letting go of the breath very gently, very gently. Taking another gentle breath in, being aware of the whole body from head to toe as you breathe in all the sensations all around the body, the movement, the motions, holding on to the breath, being aware of whatever sensation that arises as you hold on to the breath. And gently breathing out, relax, 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 gently, gently, being aware, being fully aware. As you then take another gentle, deep breath in until you can't breathe in anymore, filling the chest up with as much as you possibly could, holding on to it, being aware of that discomfort of having that much air. When you can't hold on to it any longer, gently relax. And as you let go of the air, the mind, the body relaxing deeper and deeper, and deeper and deeper. Relax, relax, relax. Gently, gently. Being aware of the whole body, here and now, here and now, here and now. guiding your attention down to the tips of the toes, to start on our body scan or Vedana Vipassana meditation, guiding your attention all the way down to the tips of the toes. And as you do, being aware of all the sensations all around the toes, being aware of all the sensations all around the toes. Observe the toes, the sensations arising. Whatever sensation it might be, just observe, just observe. Just observe. And when you have observed whatever great or small amount of observation you have been able to do, gently, gently, letting go, putting aside the toes, and moving on to the feet, guiding your attention from the toes to the feet, toes to the feet. Observe the sensation, whatever these sensations might be. Observe the sensation as they arise and pass away, your mind being focused to this part of the body. And when you are ready, letting go, letting go of the feet, and as you do, the mind and the body relaxing deeper and deeper. Letting go as you gently guide your attention from the feet to the legs, to the legs. Observe, observe, observe. Gently observing the sensations arising from each and every fiber of skin and muscle, skin and muscle, all around, all around. And when you are ready, letting go of the legs, letting go of those sensations as you gently move on from the legs to the thighs, observing all the sensations all around the thighs, all around. Observing the sensations all around the thighs, letting go of everything else. And just being in this moment, observing, directing the mind and observing the arising and passing away of these different sensations from moment to moment. The newness in each and every moment that we come across. How the sensations are not the same, but entirely or substantially different from the ones before. Having no prejudice or bias against any sensation, and just accepting all the sensations as they arise, as they arise, as they arise. From the thighs now. When you are ready and when you have observed the sensations all around the thighs, gently letting go of the thighs, the sensations, and moving on from the thighs to the abdomen, to the abdomen. Observing the posture, observing the posture. Observe, observe, observe. As you gently, gently, if you can, allowing yourself to go deeper, deeper, deeper. Observe the sensations. Just watch. Be aware without any judgment whatsoever on how these sensations arise and pass away, arise and pass away, arise and pass away. Be very gentle, very gentle. The nature of impermanence in each and every moment, in each and every moment. In each and every moment. Whatever sensation that arises, do not be surprised or excited in any way. Gently, just being with the sensation, knowing its every move and motion as you gently guide your attention, guide your attention from the abdomen to the chest. As you let go of the abdomen and the sensations, guide your fullest attention to the chest, the mind and the body relaxing a little bit more, allowing you to go deeper into your sensations all around the chest. Be aware of your posture, no slouching, no slouching. Observe the sensation, observe. Observe, observe. As you gently, gently gently, guiding your attention now from the chest, letting go of the chest, the sensation to the shoulders, to the shoulders. Observing all the sensations all around the shoulders, all around the shoulders. As you gently, gently observe all the different sensations arising all around. Letting go far more than you started or you were able to, and going deeper into the sensation. Remember, the key is to let go and relax. Relax, relax. Shifting from doing to being. Observe, observe. Observe. gently, guiding your attention from the shoulders to the arms, the forearms, the hands, all the way down to the tips of the fingers, the whole range, being observant, being aware, the arising and passing away. Observe, observe. Observe. From the arms, the hands, the shoulders, guiding your attention through the neck to the face. Now observing all the sensations, letting go of all else, all the other part of the body, and focusing on the face. Observing, observing, observing. As and when the sensations arise, observing the facial muscles, each and every fiber of skin and muscle, and the sensations that arise. Observe these sensations without any attachment. Make sure the face is relaxed, relaxing deeper and deeper. Relax. Gently guiding your awareness now from the face to the whole body, observing gently, gently the sensations all around the body. Be aware, be aware, be aware as you gently, gently gently let going all the sensations, just being for a moment, knowing the nature of impermanence, suffering in non-self. Taking a deep breath in, letting go, letting go. As we gently relax the mind and the body, the mind and the body. Taking another deep breath in, breathing into each and every fiber of your body. Imagine The breath invigorating and energizing each and every part of the body as you breathe in, holding on to the breath, letting go, relax, relax, relax. Relax. And as you gently now guide your attention to the five senses, being aware of the surrounding that you are in, taking another deep breath in, gentle, very gentle this time. And as you breathe out, gently, awakening into the present moment, here and now, here and now. Let's grab a drink. You've done well. All right. So, I thought we could discuss a bit about suffering today. Such an optimistic topic right in the morning. Yeah. Okay. So, what do we know about suffering? What do we think about suffering in terms? Because I mean, it's impermanence, suffering, and non-self. I feel as if every time that I mention impermanence, that you are waiting for the word suffering almost, because it's so ingrained into our sort of vocabulary, how impermanence, suffering, and non-self, the three um, different sort of characteristics almost following each other, right? But you might remember, or if you do remember, I often mention impermanence and I often mention non-self, but I don't mention suffering too often. So let's discuss a bit about suffering today. So what do you think, or what are your perspectives on what suffering is from a meditation perspective? From a vipassana perspective, what do you think suffering is? Does anyone want to unmute their mics and go for it? Come on, someone must have a thought. Yeah, Ru, you've unmuted your mic if you want to say something.
uh, the presence of absence of what you want, presence or absence of what you want.
The presence or absence.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, could you explain that a bit? How that becomes suffering, in your perspective?
As in, if your focus is lacking, then you suffer. Yeah, as in, like, because if you're striving for focus, and if the focus is lacking,
Mhm.
then you feel suffering. For example.
Okay, okay, okay. Anyone else? Samantha, you've said not getting what you want. Okay, which is suffering again, right? But what else, really? What else? Not getting what you want. Samantha, would you like to explain that a bit in terms of your meditation, or in terms of a in through a meditator's perspective, really?
I think from my experience, I think I have expectations how things should be, and how things should go. And if I don't achieve this, or if I don't get them, I'll be disappointed. So yeah, my happiness would then change to unhappiness. So it fluctuates. And then also my attachment to sense world things, and especially to various things that are close to me, family members. And if things fall apart, then they're suffering. When the going is good, it's
Yeah.
all nice. And then when it falls, and when you don't expect something drastic or whatever to happen, then obviously you suffer. And then you say, oh, my world's gone apart. Where is it? So that balance of mind is not there, I suppose, because I haven't prepared myself.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, okay. And
Bhante, can I speak, please, Bhante? Sujata here.
yes, I give you the ability to speak, Sujata.
Can I, please?
Yes, yes, of course. Go ahead.
Bhante, for me, the whole process of this meditation is suffering, because I can't achieve what I want to achieve.
Hmm.
When my breath is in one stage, it suddenly disappears from me. Again, I come back. It's a case of suffering for me, I feel.
Okay.
So it's a hard struggle, really.
Hmm.
If you could call it suffering or whatever it is.
Hmm.
With this 1 hour,
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't have been in a stationary position, a quiet position, for more than 15 minutes. It just wonders. So I'm doing my best. Is it suffering or my impatience? I don't know, but really.
Let's see what it belongs to. Let's see what it belongs to. So, Dil, you wanted to say something? Dil, we can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can
Yes, yes.
So, Bhante, when we started Buddhism and when we learned, we are told that suffering is, there are 12 kinds, that birth and illness and old age, and suffering, getting what you want is suffering, not getting what you want is being with people you like and don't like, and this panchaskanta is suffering, and grief, sorrow, pain, lamentation, and despair, these are suffering. But those are just still concepts of the mind that you can take. But in meditation, for me, Vipassana is, the point of meditation is actually being in unentangled participation, whatever happens. So all these things can be happening. But if we are doing something to reject it or get something, or thinking you have to stay like this or that, then you're doing. But real meditation is just being. When you drop all those things and don't get entangled in being. And it's very hard to do because the ego jumps in, proliferates, and all these sankharas come. And just being with that and seeing that mind, and at the end of it, if you can see all that, and that at least a part of that meditation, you heard the noises, the family getting involved, or hunger, pain, whatever comes, or something you have to do. But if you can be aware, and when you're aware,
Yeah.
that for me is what is not suffering. If you can be aware without getting part of it, and if you can have that bare attention with awareness, then I think that day your meditation, even for a part of it, has been what we are trying to achieve. But that's just only me.
Yeah, I mean, true. I think every part of what you said is very true, Dil. But from a practitioner's perspective, I feel like that from a practitioner's perspective, if my teacher, if someone who was teaching me and who was giving me instruction was giving me all of that instruction to get rid of that suffering during meditation, I would find that instruction to be suffering as well. You know, too many things to think about, you see. You know what I mean? You know, it's like you want to cook an easy meal, right? And you ask your guest, okay, what would you like to eat? What can I prepare when you come to visit me? Right, and you expect them to say, oh, just something simple, and they tell you something like they tell you to prepare something that is so complicated and takes so much of time. When it comes to let's Miri had said something.
Bhante, but it's just the letting go. If you can let go, forget everything else, let go. That's for me one word, or that is just letting it go without getting entangled. So then it doesn't become.
I mean, okay, we'll come to that. Miri has and Neha wanted to say something, and Miri had said something. Miri has said something very interesting. Pain during meditation. So I suppose Miri is saying that pain during meditation is suffering, right? It sounds similar to what Sujata said. Is that what you're saying, Miri?
No, I meant simple things like bodily pain, like your hips aching or something. Okay. But I agree with Dil, you have to just let that go.
Then Miri, thank you for mentioning. I was waiting for the word pain to come. So thank you for making my job easy today. Because then there is is suffering and pain the same thing, right? I'm going to just put that out there, Miri. Let's listen to Neha. Neha, what did you want to say?
Yeah, I think someone mentioned attachment. So for me, Bhante, I think suffering is partly caused by my own expectations from people I'm attached to. And when they don't meet those expectations, then for me that causes. And I think another thing for me is the past and the future. Worrying about or thinking about either of them is also or could also trigger suffering. But yeah, that's all I would say. I think it's pretty much been said by others. So
yeah, interesting. Okay, Shirani, yeah.
My suffering is Bhante, inability to master Vipassana, because I keep jumping all the time. I'm going. Focus is on It's my mind is always in going into samadhi, and it doesn't and it stay in the samadhi. Whenever I try to go into Vipassana, it stays for a short period, and then it's easily just jumps. That is my suffering. I keep thinking, how do I master the Vipassana?
Okay. Different types of suffering in this room, you see. From pain to not understanding Vipassana to, to having to clean the house, to sitting for long times, all of this suffering. Okay. So in I feel like we have, through what was expressed, and I don't know whether Padma, you want to say something?
I mean, this is very simple, I think. I mean, I'm not really sure, but I know you started off by saying something about hindrances. I just missed the first bit of it. But then when I'm really concentrating, I feel I can only concentrate on the breath, and that's the object, and that's the only chitta that's working. So I can get the hindrances don't really come into it. And I was wondering whether that is what really suppressing. I mean, there's a very simple way whether it's suppressing hindrances at that particular moment is. And if I can do it, then I don't have any suffering. But if I can't do it, I mean, which is getting more easier now as I go on, I think then that sort of causes me a bit of suffering, thinking, oh, I'm going back. So that's, I suppose, my concept of suffering in a very simple way. I mean, I don't think I've gone to Vipassana stage yet. I'm still in the Samatha state, I think.
Okay, that's another discussion, I think, for a completely entirely different discussion altogether, according to the along the Vipassana lines. But in Buddhism, I would say, from things that all of you did mention, we see two aspects: that which is inevitable and that which is avoidable or evitable, right? Which do you think is suffering, the inevitable or that which is avoidable or evitable? The inevitable or the evitable? What do you think is suffering? Is both of them suffering or else? What do you think? Think about your, it's not like you don't have to think about what the Dhamma says. Think about what is true to you. Think about your suffering, the suffering that is inevitable. What is a suffering which is inevitable? I'm sorry, I'm using that word. What is that which is inevitable? Is it what can't we avoid? What is it that whatever it is that you do, you're always going to be, it is something which is a commonality between all of us. And there's nothing that we could individually do. We could possibly sort of push it back, or push it, bring it forward, or whatever it is. However, we are going to have to experience it.
If you're born, Bhante, then there'll be suffering, because if you're born, you have to go through all this.
Yeah, let's stop using the word suffering, right? Let's stop using the word suffering and let's look at, okay, if you're born, what happens?
Old age, sickness, and death.
Okay, right. Old age, sickness, and death. So that is what is inevitable, right? Neha, you were going to say something?
The same one
yeah,
day.
so if you're born, old age, sickness, and death is suffering. Oh, I'm sorry, is something that you would experience, right? Suffering is such a generic sort of word that, it just comes out. So then is that what true suffering is?
No, what is avoidable? Balaporottuwa kaduna. So that is the what is avoidable. We have so many expectations. We don't want pain. We want to do Vipassana. We want to live long. We don't want to get COVID. So one monk came and told, what is pain in Sinhalese? And then some people said dukkha, and everybody said, nah, balaporottuwa kaduna. So that is like the second arrow in the Salayana Sutta or Saladaro Sutta.
Okay. True. Balaporottuwa kaduna. That is what your expectations were not fulfilled, right? Okay. So then old age, sickness, and suffering. Old age, sickness, death, jara, vyadi, marna, the dukkham, right? Is that the suffering that we focus on during Vipassana? Is my next question.
No, it's not getting the sensations or getting unwanted sensations. So not getting the sensations that you want, or getting unwanted sensations.
Okay, good. So it is this not getting the sensations that we want. Can we use a word to define that process? Not getting what we want. So then where does this jara, vyadi, marnadi, dukkham fall into? What is that? Jara, I'm sorry, Monica. Old age, sickness, death. Old age, decay, sickness, and death. Where does that fall in?
Inevitable.
Yeah, that is inevitable. But what category of Dhamma does that fall into?
Dukkha.
Dukkha is suffering. Dukkha is suffering, right? What is
then viparinama?
Oh, now you're no.
No. Let's go along the lines of pain and suffering.
Impermanence, Bhante. Is it impermanence?
Impermanence is everywhere. Even my cup of, I made a cup of warm coffee, that is impermanent. It's cold now. Impermanence is everywhere, right? We are not talking about impermanence here, right? We are talking about the proper classifications of suffering and pain, right?
Being born over and over again.
Yes, that is Jara Vyadhi Marnadi Dukkham, being born, that creates that. So pain, so then if we go into the definitions, suffering that when we use in Vipassana, in insight meditation, when we say Anicca, Dukkha, Anatma as a Vipassana, right, we are not referring to that which is inevitable. Right? We are not referring to that which is inevitable. That which is inevitable is classified as pain, right? Meaning the bodily pains that you would go through, that one would go through, the different sort of experiences in terms of, what would go through. All of that in Dhamma is categorized as pain. Remember, pain is inevitable, suffering is not. Suffering is not. Suffering is a reaction that you have to the pain, right? That suffering is caused by one thing, grasping, right? That suffering is caused by grasping. So, for example, you have a pain, a bodily pain which arises, which Siddhartha said, meditation is uphill battle, right? And I'm sure time to time, most of you feel that way. However, that reaction to that pain is exactly what Vipassana suffering, or the focus of Vipassana suffering is, right? Because if we would say, some of you might imagine, okay, but life is suffering. Actually, no, life is not completely suffering. Life has the propensity or the probability of suffering, yes. But life is not utterly, completely suffering, right? However, when we grasp onto certain aspects of life, which is, for example, a young mother would cling on to the aspect of the playfulness and the folly of their children, right? And hope that they never grow up, but they grow up so fast, right? Neha, that one was for you. Right? A person might be, might be sort of having the pain of, oh, I can't remember all of these things, all of these things that Bhante teaches, I can't remember any of these things. A person might be saying, oh, I don't understand what this Vipassana is. A person might be saying, I can't exercise, I can't do all these things. It is those things. If you are to cling on to those things, or to even cling on to the good or the bad, that clinging creates a reaction to that which is inevitable, right? So then there must be a differentiation between that which is inevitable and the reaction that we have to that which is inevitable. This reaction is suffering that we refer to in our meditation, right? This suffering is sort of nourished, or rather sort of prompted by grasping, and only grasping. When the grasping is no more, the suffering becomes no more, because now you are aware without the reaction, or your reactions are not personalized to these inevitable experiences. Right? That is what we focus on during our Vipassana meditation. Right? That is what we focus on during our Vipassana meditation, with the arising of mindfulness, of sati, which is mindfulness. This mindfulness over the object, right? If it is not, the word is not influenced by grasping, then the experience of the object is neutral. It is true, or it is when we are able to neutrally experience the object, that is when we see the truth of the object. Now, something, something that I was just thinking earlier during time of meditation. You see, we think we don't look that good. We think, oh, I hate my face, or we think, oh, this person looks really pretty. Body dysmorphia. You have it, I have it. We both have it, right? But the thing is, when I look at all of you and your cameras are on, I see beauty in each and every one of you. All of you are beautiful, and not in just a way that I'm telling to sort of, to make you feel happy. Each and every one of you, you look very different to one another. But for me, I see beauty in each and every one of you, the males and the females, right? The old and the young. Regardless, there is beauty in each and every one of you. Physically, I'm not talking about the heart and all of that. I'm talking about the body. However, the moment that I put my face on, I'm like, oh, this could be better. So I am able to see beauty in each and every one of you, other than maybe myself. That is grasping, you see, because I am not attached, or I am not clinging on to your appearance or your bodies or whatnot. I am able to see, my gosh, you all are very lovely looking people. You're a people that I would love to give a hug to, especially the mothers here, very grandma like, and so lovely. However, when I put my face on, you see, that is a grasping, you see. When the object is neutral, now we are able to see the truth within that object. To an extent where we now do not have any sort of negative rapture with that object, right? That is where the suffering comes in, or that element of suffering comes in. When the element of suffering comes in, we pull holes unnecessarily in each and every one of these, rather than being able to accept the levels, the degrees to which we exist. We pull holes because we just can't leave it alone. There is too much sort of grasping there. And this grasping all is applied through all the conditions that we are fed with. It is that suffering that we work on during our practice of Vipassana, right? During our practice of Vipassana, where we realize that it is only that grasping and that delusion that grasping arises with, which gives us this sense of, incompetency. This feeling of I am not enough, or I am unable to do it, or I am unable to reach that status, right? When we look at, for example, venerables, and I've used this example before, venerables like Venerable Angulimala, or like Patachara, or, Patachara was a nun who, before she ordained, she was a prostitute, right? She was a prostitute, and she was very famous in the town. She was the object of pleasure of all the ministers, right? Then we have Angulimala, who was a murderer, right? We have so many thieves, we have murderers, we have more prostitutes, we have people of every distinction, which the Buddha has sort of drawn parallels with and say, look here, none of you have murdered, I suppose. Right? None of you have murdered until you do look like a bit of a murderer.
Well done.
Yeah. So none of you all are murderers, right? But then however, when we draw parallels with people like Angulimala, what was it that enabled them to
sort of attain Nibbana at a faster, greater rate than we are able to. Maybe it was the movement of Dhamma that was created through the teacher's influence, that was the Buddha, right? Through knowing the Buddha, through knowing or experiencing or getting to know the Dhamma in that aspect, and through that sort of motivation, the acceptance that we had towards the Dhamma that was taught. Now, the Dhamma is not in any way something which is foreign. We see Dhamma as foreign because Dhamma is, Dhamma is a word which is used in sort of Hinduism, Buddhism, this word dharma or Dhamma is used. When linguistically, when we sort of look at it, it almost sounds as if we are taking something from someone. I'm learning the Dhamma. What does that mean? I'm learning Buddhism. But in reality, if you take what is in the Dhamma, let's only take impermanent suffering and non-self. These three aspects exist in your life. It is just as if you were to sort of come in front of a mirror and you were to observe your position, your posture, the way your body looked. Now, this you would take as something which is yours. The Dhamma we often take as something which is foreign, but I'm working hard to adopt it. But in reality, it is not something which is foreign. It is something which is very much a part of each and every moment of our existence, mind and in body. That acceptance and understanding through wisdom, the Dhamma, which is the existent mechanism or the existent nature of everything within us and outside of us, allows a greater compelling, right, of understanding, of wisdom to understand the reality of the world we live in, right? In the eyes of Dhamma, in a way that it does not further support ignorance, grasping, craving, or any of these other fetters which keeps us bounded in samsara. In a way that now this understanding, the more that we understand about it, it is like that glue losing its strength. It's getting easy to pull it out and pull it away from it. Not giving you a better understanding or better sort of equipping you with a better way of life, which allows one to live, experience, enjoy, but not be attached to the things which are around. There is this question: does an arahant, does an enlightened being enjoy the scenery? Because enlightened beings and these monks, they usually travel. They don't usually stick to one place, and usually these monks sort of they travel from different mountains to other mountains, from forests to different other forests, right? And most of these places are really beautiful, right? Because why wouldn't it be? It's a forest, it's a jungle, it's mountains, it's beautiful, right? You get up in the morning to the sound of the the animals, and no cars or anything of the sort, and you walk to a top of a mountain, and then you see the sunrise, and you enjoy that, and these things really happen. But then there's a question: do arahants enjoy these things, these experiences? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Arahants, enlightened beings, do experience, because often I think we have all seen that when people get into Dhamma, they become so rigidly insufferable, almost to an extent where they deny themselves every form of pleasure that being human has, and we often see that these people, as a person who's lived in a monastery and who experiences people coming in and out of the monastery, often we see people very easily they fall away. They are unable to continue it. Why? Because it's just not organic. It's just not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. So because of that, this awareness, this wisdom allows us to enjoy life,
but in a way that we do not egotistically or in an egocentric manner or with the deluded mind sort of imagine or think that we can hold on to this forever. However, we do enjoy, for example, if we know my kids are going to grow up pretty fast, so what do? The thing to do would be to enjoy each and every moment of their childhood, right? Except, of course, when they're shouting, screaming, and howling and behaving like absolute wild animals. Except that moment. But even at a moment like that, you could sort of enjoy the domination that you can have over the children, where you can say shut up. But when they grow up, you cannot say that. So you can at least enjoy that part, you see, but to be able to enjoy, that would be the most logical sense, or the most sort of thing that practically we would tell, enjoy every part. So when they do grow up, we do have the reality or the sense of reality that this is how things work, we are able to enjoy each and every sort of part of life. Then we come along to sort of letting go, right? Then we come along to from one extreme to the other. We are letting go in terms of saying goodbye to a person. The Buddha says developing a sense of gratitude for what we have had with a person. And in that sense of gratitude, not being greedy, it is good to sort of enjoy something. But the moment that we become greedy, most often that thing that we enjoyed in a very wholesome way turns to become something quite unwholesome. Right, turns to become something quite unwholesome. And that is even with good food, isn't it? I can't remember what it was, but because I'm a bit health conscious, I did some reading on it, and there is a medical condition where you're too healthy, and a psychological condition as well, where the body, where you're too healthy, and that is also not good for your system. I can't remember the name of it, right? You see, okay, you're healthy. Now there's a whole psychological and a medical condition where, when you're too healthy, now it starts affecting your health in a rather unfavorable manner, right? When it comes to even letting go and letting people go and saying goodbye to a person, the focus or the point of focus should not be this, you having to say goodbye to the person, but rather the gratitude for the experiences that we've had with these people, right? With these people. Why is it when we have, it's like in relationships, we've had relationships for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And then in 40 years, this man or woman does one mistake, which almost feels as if a sort of a drop of mud into the pot of milk, almost. That's a very Asian example, drop of mud into a pot of milk, right? Which almost feels as if you had to throw away the whole entire container, the whole entire pot of milk. But really, do you actually, right? Or is it, where is that sense of logic in that? Where we have to throw, or we feel as if we have to throw, in 40 years, he's done, or he or she does one mistake which hurts you deeply. So is it the mistake that hurt you, or is it that the 40 years of pure happiness has now been ruined by one experience of one bad experience? I have a very good devotee, and she had this marriage, beautiful marriage, right? The husband was a little bit older. However, they had a beautiful marriage with, the wife was very caring, very motherly towards, the husband was having some sort of health issues towards the end of his life. But, she took care of, they were a very lovely couple.
right? They were a very lovely couple, and the both of them would say, we've had the perfect marriage. I mean, we found each other, and we've had the perfect marriage, and we have no regrets whatsoever. Now, the husband passed away, and after the husband passed away, the wife discovered something about the husband from one of the relatives that the wife did not know after 60 years of marriage, right? The wife discovered something about the husband which the wife did not know. And this was something that the husband used to do, right? This was something that the husband used to do when he was younger, right? He was should I say, well, he was a clergyman. He was a monk, right? But the wife, and he disrobed, and later on he was an engineer. He found a really good job, and during that time he met this lady and they got married. And the wife did not know for 60 years. She did not know that he was a monk for a couple of years in his life, and then he had to disrobe. And this this absolutely tainted the view that she had of the husband, right? In a way, she knew that the husband wasn't doing anything bad, however, the betrayal the absolute betrayal of not being told, or not the husband not divulging this to the wife during their 60 years together. And now that the husband has passed away, she feels as if it kind of that their relationship was rather incomplete, but this is not the truth, is it? But the thing is, you will nod your head, but if it happens to you after 60 years where you assume that you knew everything about this man that you were sleeping with every day, having next to you on your bed, and you discover this, but it's not really true. The feeling is, yeah, we could say yes, of course, but it's not really true. There are certain things in our life that we do not want to remember ourselves. There are certain things in our life that we wouldn't want people to judge us by, because we love the relationship that we have with these people, right? And because of which we might certainly hide certain things, but that does not effectively reflect on the relationship. Maybe it reflects more on the relationship of how the person cherished whatever it is that they had with you, right? But the grasping element ruins that again. The grasping element ruins that again. Non-grasping, or being able to have a relationship with a person without the grasping element, allows you to have a wonderful time with a person, and to say goodbye when the time arrives, and allowing you to enjoy other parts of life that you might not have seen before. So in both birth and death, there should be an aspect of non-grasping and a sense of gratitude for whatever experiences that you had with the person, rather than the experiences that you might, through grasping, would have liked to have, but were not able to have. Right? In every sense of the way, this practice, Vipassana, remember, through Vipassana, you're not going to become more Buddhist. What you're going to become is more realistic. You're going to become more human with awareness. Buddhism was a way that started was a term which was introduced in India to refer to those who followed the Buddha. Like, for example, people, certain monks say, this group of people, or, my group of Abhidhamma students, people say, your group, Bhante Panyavansa's group. Some of the devotees say Bhante Panyavansa's groupies. Right? Now, that is only because, you attend my classes, and, we spend a lot of time together learning from one another. Right? However, Buddhism was a term which was not introduced by the Buddha. It was a term which was introduced for recognition. right? So that the government was able to recognize those group of people who followed along a certain different path from the different other people of the nation, right? So in every sense, we should not be aiming or trying to be more Buddhist. What we should be doing is rather trying to get to know ourselves more. Shirani, to your question, we are going to discuss about Vipassana for Shirani and the rest of the people who do not understand Vipassana a bit more. Because, you know, I remember when I started off, quite young though, you know, I did not get what, you know, in the world the monks are talking about Vipassana. They were like, you know, you just have to wait, you know, you just have to experience, you just have to experience, just keep your mind there, you know. But really, if we stop trying to understand it, I think there is a better chance of us really do understanding it in a way, because it is something which cannot be taught. We can give pointers, but it's more about experience, right? An experience which comes slowly. Be patient, but we will discuss a bit about Vipassana tomorrow, right? So thank you very much. I will see you all tomorrow, and take care and have a good day. All right. Teron Sannai.
Teruwan සරණයි බන්තේ. සාදු.
සරණයි, ආදරණීය බුදු සරණයි.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි බන්තේ.